We're live, everybody. And hello tonight. We just want to say hi to anything. We got a lot of interesting stuff going on that we want to discuss tonight before we get into exactly what's really going on with. I'm just trying to get situated here and get in here properly. Okay, so right now, I have a couple announcements to make, and I'm just going to make them, and they're pretty good announcements. We always have people telling us that we are only doing stuff on John A. Light, and that's what we're living off of and all that stuff, which is totally false. We go with the story because it's a hot story. But, we are going to do other things. And Cane Shade has a lot of abilities that I don't have when it comes to creating videos and stuff. And right now we're working on a website. So we're going to have a website along with us. And then on top of that, next Friday night at 7:30 Eastern, we are going to do a show. And the guy's already committed. And his name, okay, let me see if I can get to my banner here. Okay. Well, anyway, this gentleman I've known for quite a while, but he's an expert on the Johnny Depp Amber Heard case that's coming up, and it's going to be going to court, and it's going to be a very big case, and he's going to give us the inside information on everything, and he's going to be on 7:30 next Friday night, and he has a very large station. I put his information running down here, and he agreed to come here. So Cane Shade, would you think that would be interested in listening to that whole thing?
Yes, Rob Rules.
From an expert.
Yeah, Rob Rules is his channel, right?
Yes, Rob Rules.
Y'all go check him out. Yeah, we want to see what's going on with this Johnny Depp court battle with Amber Heard.
Yeah. And once again, it's not because we want to be like, oh, we're covering act. It's basically, it comes into the genre of what we are. We're about the mob, and we want to do true stories and stuff. But he played characters that were true. He played, as you know, John Dillinger, and he played Whitey Bulger and Donnie Brasco.
And George Young from the Blow movie.
And George Young. A lot of people forget that he played George Young, Mm-hmm. And so he will be there too. And so I just want to let you know, we'll put up more advertising during the next week, but 7:30 next Friday night, he will be here, and he's going to go from A to Z. He's got some footage that's never been seen before of the whole entire case. He has pictures that have never been seen before because he's an expert on it. He's about as good as you can get. And also, I'm working on an interview with this gentleman here. It's called The Sit Down. It's a Mafia history podcast. And originally, he wanted to come on, but his biggest concern, and I'm just going to be honest and straight with you guys, his biggest concern was that we were too much just into the Johnny A. Light situation. And that's not, and then when I explained to him what we're going to do as a station, as a channel, forgive me, he said that, okay. So I'm looking forward to that. And once he gets us a time and stuff, Monday or Tuesday, maybe. And he's a Mafia expert. And I wanted to discuss with him Roy DeMeo. I've always been fascinated by Roy DeMeo. What do you think of Roy DeMeo?
Wow, crazy. Yeah. Chopping up bodies. It's crazy.
Yeah, and just right in that bar there. I mean, and it's funny, that bar now, it's a business. And can you imagine being in that bar, knowing that right in that back room, how many people they cut up back there?
Wow, I couldn't even imagine that.
But that's how expensive real estate is in New York, despite the fact that people have been cut up in that place, murdered and decapitated and taken away. They just want to, they never changed it. It's still got the same inside. The only thing they changed is they repainted the outside, but you could tell it's still that old bar where Roy DeMeo used to have so many people meet their end.
It's crazy.
Yes. And so I just want to let you know that.
Hold on. David says
Yes.
that bar is a church now.
Oh, that's right. It is a church. Yes, David. Yeah, David. That's right. It's a church.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's crazy, huh?
Oh, yes. And you know what's funny too? I hear that it's like a tourist site. A lot of people stop
Mm.
and just check it out. And it's like, wow, no one even knows how many people they murdered in that bar, but it was a lot. Even some parts of the gang got killed there. One of the guys murdered a couple Colombians and robbed them. And so his boss, Roy DeMayo's boss, Gadji, came back and told Roy DeMayo, listen, you got to kill him. And Roy DeMayo's, let's say this guy was like a son to him, and he didn't want to kill him. And Gadji said, you have no choice. You got to kill him. That's from the top. He's got to go. Because the Colombians were going to come up here with a bunch of shooters and stuff and tear things up with the Mafia. And the Mafia doesn't want the Colombians flowing all over the place because next thing you'll know, you have 100 Colombians in the street hunting down the Mafia guys. So he had to go. And what happened is Roy DeMayo, he was sitting down and at the bar, and Roy DeMayo came in and didn't want to do it, but he put a bullet right behind his head. And that was the end of him. And that's the history of that one. So just so you know that we have the website next Friday night at 7:30, and then we're working on an interview with the Mafia History podcast. If you guys have any suggestions of what you would like to talk to this gentleman about Mafia stuff, like certain characters or something, come up with something. Just write me, let me know who you'd like to do. I'm leaning kind of Roy DeMayo, but it'd be interesting what you want to do. I'm sure that he'll spread it out a little bit. Okay, and so yesterday, why don't you tell them what they had yesterday on that MobCom?
Oh, they announced that the John Gotti 2 movie will be released soon. I am very excited about the John Gotti 2 movie. What about you, Lee? What do you think about this John Gotti 2 movie?
Well, it was such a, what people don't realize is when that movie was made, it had 7 Emmys. William Forsythe, who's played Sammy Gravano, won an Emmy. Armand Assante won a couple awards for playing John Gotti. And they're bringing back the same cast, but they're all much older.
Wow.
You got to remember this movie's like 25 years old. So they're all much older, and they don't look nothing like they used to look. And you know who else is in it? Junior from The Sopranos.
Oh,
he was in the original one.
Yes,
so Junior
yes.
Junior from The Sopranos is in it, and yesterday, the gentleman that pretty much has that podcast Sit Down, a Mafia History podcast. He has a pretty interesting picture that he sent me, and I just want you to see it. It's actually, this is who was at this event yesterday. A lot of of course, Sammy Gravano didn't show up, but a lot of the guys that have podcasts that aren't rats, or I shouldn't have said that because some people consider this guy a rat. But anyway, he showed up, and I just want you to see this picture, and just give me 1 second. If you want to read somebody's in there, I'd appreciate it.
Can we mix in some Miami stuff? Kane's are a real OG gangster. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm planning on and I'll show some footage over here. I'm planning on going to the Dayland Mall. And if you don't know, in 1979, Griselda Blanco ordered a hit, and it was one of the craziest shootings here in Miami. It was at the Crown Liquor Store, and I'm about to probably go to the Dayland Mall and do like a little short biography, and I'll give the footage to Lee. I'll put some of it on my channel. We'll share it. We'll talk about that. A lot of crazy cartel stuff here in Miami.
Okay, you can just keep on reading whatever you want to read in there.
Oh, okay. Stu
If you don't
Pigeon
mind.
says, "What's up, Unc? Here, man. Just another Saturday night. Can you get Angel Gotti on the show?" Anthony Salerno wants to know that. David says the guy that lives in the apartment was a creepy old man named Dracula.
As
He's
well,
talking about the Roy DeMayo thing.
right. And what did they say? Angel Gotti?
Someone wanted to know if you would interview Angel Gotti. Can you get Angel Gotti on the show? Anthony
Well,
Serrano
yeah,
said.
we're working on that right now.
Mm.
Just so you do know, and that's what's going to separate us from these other ones, except maybe Mike, because of Michael Franche. French says. Be,
Francesi.
well, he is. He just does a lot of really good interviews. That's what we want to do. We want to interview really good people. And we want you to watch us go from that insanity of this rat thing to other stuff, so you'll understand this isn't just about, people say, oh, you just care about the clicks and all that stuff. Of course, we want to be a station that's growing, but we're a channel that's growing. But what we want to do also is we want to have people on here that people want to see and talk about everything when it comes to the mafia and true crime. I love true crime. What do you think of true crime? Do you find that a fascinating thing, Kane Shade?
Definitely. I love the documentaries on A&E. Yes.
And who would you see if you had to name a character that you found fascinating with true crime?
I think Griselda Blanco. I'm sorry.
Right.
Griselda Blanco's story is tremendous. She ordered about 200 hits in Miami, and they've had several documentaries on her. And I mean, they said that she's killed like two of her husbands. It's a fascinating story, and I would like to cover that. But yeah, I would say Griselda Blanco is a very interesting. She got killed in Colombia about 5 years ago.
Well, you could always put that together too.
Yeah, I'm thinking about putting that together.
If you want to. Okay. Well, it's a gentleman that has this podcast, the Mafia History Podcast. Here's a picture that he took yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
As you can see, Michael Franzese was at the show, and so this show had a lot of people, and it's kind of disappointing because if I had like about a month and I realized this was going to happen, I would have loved to have gone to this. Mm-hmm. Would you have loved to go into something like this?
For shits and giggles, yes, just to see what this. I've never been to one of these little things, but yeah, I would like just to see what it's all about. I know they got Star Wars and Star Trek ones, but a mob convention, that'd be interesting to see what they got going on.
Do you think Johnny
A-Light had his own little booth?
Yeah, he has his own booth. It was called, and he was selling little rats.
I don't know. I don't know, like a real mob convention. How would it be a rat convention? They would have a bunch of rats and little booths and shit. I mean, what would you think that would be?
Well, think about it. Like last year at this time, these shows started coming out slowly, and it's grown so much in the last year. Mm-hmm. I mean, people say, "Oh, the market's getting flooded." No, it's not getting flooded because everybody's doing well that has a decent show. Mm. And people are swarming in, and people like stuff like this. So I would tell anybody in our audience that if you like to do stuff like this, don't be afraid to do it. You never know. You just start a show. There's a lot of people here know a lot more about the mafia than I do. So why can't anybody start your show? And it's the way you present yourself. If a Mexican from a bodega in Miami can do it, anybody can do
it. Cuban.
I'm always playing with Kane Shade because
you like that bodega.
Yeah, because I find it hilarious when people always call him a Mexican and always put him in a bodega. And
is this what they wear at the bodegas? Yeah. Is it for real?
But bodegas are in short, they're Puerto Rican mostly, and they're in New York.
Okay,
so
they don't
that's
call
the
that
funny
down
thing.
here, like bodegas.
Or something. Once you have some money and stuff, just as a joke, you could open up a place.
A bodega. Yeah. You want to open up a bodega with me, Lee?
Hell yeah! Why not?
Let's do one. Let's do one in Texas. Let's do a bodega. How do you think the people in the community would like receive
Let me tell
that?
you, see, in Texas, they have old Mexican money here. These Mexicans have been here for 200 years, and they have a lot of money. Half the money in Texas is controlled by the old Mexicans, and they have big businesses everywhere. I mean, it's incredible the money that they have down here and what they've done for this community in Texas. So it's nothing like you can imagine. You know, people say right away, "Oh, you got Mexicans coming across the border," but they're so important. I mean, they built this state. And
Jesse Gotti says, depending on where in Texas. I don't know what she meant by that.
yeah, well, that's true. Yeah, it depends. Like I'm in an area where you have a lot of Mexican money. I'm in the upper part of Texas, and there's a lot of money here, and half the businesses, I would say, is controlled by old Mexican money. I call it old Mexican money. The families have been here a long time and they have a ton of money, and they earned it. Okay, so I'm going to find it. If you want to read a couple more in here, I'd appreciate it because I want to find another picture I want to put up.
All right. Kevin Colin says Dominicans and Puerto Ricans. I think he's talking about the bodegas. John Wolf says a $3 million office can barely pay the salaries of 5 full-time employees. I don't know what he was talking about that. Angel says, why won't the Mafia sit-down guy speak about A-Light? Anthony Serlano says, John Wolf, I need 250K. Mind someone else's business says Cubano and the Blanco bodegas. So, well, like down here in Miami, well, Griselda Blancos lived in New York for a while. But again, people, there's no bodegas. They don't call it bodegas here in Dade County, in Miami. They don't call it bodegas down here.
I'm going to read and thank you for that, Kane Shay. You know, I've gotten people to have told me, hey, Lee, shut the hell up and let Kane Shay talk a little bit. Then I got some other people telling me, hey, Lee, stop letting Kane Shay talk.
You can't please everybody, huh?
Yeah, it's amazing, ain't it? People want to hear from you or they want to hear from me.
Yeah.
But anyway, this is a letter from Angel Gotti, and she wrote it today, and mysteriously it showed up. So Johnny A-Light would be like, oh, yeah, of course it showed up because you know them and you hang out with them and you go to the movies with them, and that's why you've been saying all this stuff about me. No. She is a friend, and I met her during this time. And I've never physically met her. I've talked to her on the phone, and she seems like a very nice woman. And we just developed a relationship that way. And I've never knew her before then. And I just want to set that straight before. And this is why she's nice enough to give me information that nobody else gets. You know, and it's really nice for me, and it's good for the show. Well, here's the letter she wrote about the movie being made, Gotti 2. It says the new Gotti movie will pick up where it left off. The government put out a lot of misinformation, and I think all will be corrected. I understand that while they are filming the movies, they will also be making a documentary. You know, it's like that. Remember when they had him getting beat up, and then he went to the Aryan Nation and asked for protection. You know, you have to remember the FBI put a lot of misinformation out there because that's who they are. They're the FBI. That's what they do. They're the kings of misinformation. I love the second Gotti movie because, see, I know that Angel is saying this because a lot of people just didn't like the second Gotti movie.
I thought it was all right. I just wish they would have focused more on Junior a little bit because it was based on the book. But, you know, I'm entitled to my opinion. But I just think if they would have took out the first beginning part and the end, it would have been a little bit better. So a lot of people trash it. I'm being honest. I enjoyed it. I've seen the movie three times. I've seen that.
Well, the worst thing I thought about the movie was the character playing John Jr. looked nothing like him. He was small. Whereas John Jr. was worked out and was a pretty big guy. And I just thought that was a huge miscasting right there. I just, you know, that part. Would you say that was a bad miscast of that?
I liked the character. I mean, he didn't look like Junior. I mean, But I mean, the hair. I don't think Junior rocked the hair like that because he
Right.
had the shave, like it was shaved with the hair on the back. I don't believe Junior had his hair like
Did
that.
they
Okay,
have a
the pictures.
Did they have a John A. like character in there?
No, 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 they did not.
Okay. Well, just checking. Okay. I love the second Gotti movie because it was more accurate than the first one. But now that my brother will be providing the documents from his archive of the factual events, this should be a better than both movies. Lem Dobbs wrote a fantastic script, but it was Kevin Conley who got the final say, and he went off script. I agree with Kane Shade. He agrees with you.
About what?
That ain't right. Okay, that's not supposed to be happening.
Who's agreeing with King Cheese?
Angel, are you listening to me?
Oh, okay. Oh, appreciate that.
Okay. Okay. Lem Dobbs wrote a fantastic script. Okay, I read that part. I agree with Kane Shade. I didn't like. Okay, we'll get to the next one here. Okay. I didn't like the intro. Both actors are wonderful men. I love John Travolta. You'll never meet a nicer human being in your life. My children and ex-husband met and knew Armand. And as you know, that's Armand Assante from the first movie. And they loved him. Armand bought 2 shopping bags of Yankee stuff, jacket, jerseys, glove, bats, etc. for my son because he knew he was a big New York Yankees fan. I'm sure this movie will be great. And I'm sending, she sent me a picture of them from last night, perfect for the parts. And I will come up with that one, but let's see real quick. Okay. Okay. If you don't mind, if you could read a couple more. Oh, and I'll pull this one up.
All right, Randy Peters. What's going on, Randy Peters? Hey guys, you are great. Do a story on Rocco Napolitano. I believe he was Sonny Black's son, and in the 90s in Miami, where Kane Shades lives, did 18 years in prison for his brother's death. Okay, look into that. Did not know that. Larry Carlson says, I'm going to the John A. Light convention by kicking A Light in the chin. Oh, man.
It always comes back to Johnny Boy, no matter what. You ever notice that?
Yeah. Kane Shades Unc. How was that name created? We'll talk about that towards the end of the story. I mean,
now look at this picture.
Yeah.
Now this picture is from last night. This is Armand Assante in the middle, and you remember the character who played Junior in The Sopranos. Look how much older William Forsythe is. He played the original Gravano. Remember?
Yeah.
So, the good thing is it's going to show the age, but these guys are up there now. They're in their 70s. And as for Junior, I think that guy's pushing his 80s easy. Junior always seemed like he was older than The Sopranos, didn't he?
Yeah. Well, this is interesting, man.
And these are pictures and these are pictures you won't see nowhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else on any other show is going to show you this picture. And I think this picture is a classic picture. So you guys, we got 101 comments. Damn, people.
The comments move fast. Nico is very invidious and columnist about Johnny A. Light. Jealousy in plain English.
Oh, don't even read it. Don't even read it. See,
no, like just that, reading up. Yeah, the comments are going.
That's just someone that's come here to be a jackass. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
So,
all right, Jesse Gatti says the conversation would not afford a rat. He is making 10 miles a day on the street, 10 million a day on the street, 10 miles.
Who's making 10 millions a day? That guy lives at home with his mother. What the hell are you talking about? He can't even afford a box of cereal. That's like a big fabrication. He's making 10 million a day. Are you kidding me? He ain't no gangster. He's not even a
And
good hustler.
you realize that someone in the comments, C Writer, said this, and he's correct. That Dominic Chinese, who played Junior, was in Godfather 2.
Oh
You know that,
yeah,
right?
that's
Yeah, he was in Godfather 2.
yeah, that's amazing. But I wanted you guys to see that picture and stuff, and I just thought it was a really nice picture, pretty amazing picture, just to see actors and how. Gosh, that's when you realize how old you're getting. It seems like I was just watching that movie yesterday. And a matter of fact, when I seen that movie, at that time, I worked for John DiGiorgio, who is Victoria Gotti's brother and John Gotti's wife. And I worked for him at that time. And I remember he didn't like the picture at all because he said it was a lot of stuff in it that just wasn't accurate. And that's pretty much what I remember him saying about it. But now we've come full circle because John Jr. is going to be involved in the movie, and he's going to use stuff from his archive to make it more accurate, which is a good thing. And it's just, and I know Armand Assante wanted to do this for quite a while. He wanted it, this ain't something that just happened overnight. Let's see, it says Valolongo, George Gallo, will write the script. And long-awaited sequel will begin filming immediately. John Gotti's son will add the soul to the movie. Gotti fictions by so-called authorities designed to keep citizens scared, along with a sequel. A documentary will also be created at the same time. That's pretty awesome because there's really been no documentaries of John Gotti in jail. Do you remember seeing any?
They covered a little bit of it on the documentary that Gotti Jr. did a few years back, but not they just a little bit about the prison visit that Jr. visited his father, but they didn't cover the whole time. This is going to be interesting. It's an interesting documentary. They have not did one yet.
No, I would love to see a documentary like that. Those are the documentaries. And I hear they're going to play it the same night as they play the Johnny A-Light documentary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. I mean, there were some stories. I know that a Latin king had John Gotti's back.
Cane Shade. I was kidding when I said that.
About what?
That went right over your head, dude.
No, what'd you say?
You got to listen. Johnny A-Light. I said that it's going to be the same night as the Johnny A-Light documentary.
Oh, okay. Yeah, no, I know that there was a Latin king that had John Gotti's back. Now they did like a hunger strike in prison, and they really in the documentary, junior documentary, they talked about it. It'd be interesting to see if they cover that in the movie and the documentary, and the new documentary that's coming. So,
well, I guess maybe we should ask Angel if she knows anything about that, if we get that opportunity. But that is a great question. And okay, Villalongo, George Gallo will write the script. Notably, Assante won the 1996 Primetime Emmy Award for Outstanding Lead Actor in a Miniseries, Our Movie, for his Gotti performance, and received a Golden Globe nomination too. And I didn't even realize that, to be honest with you. Did you realize that he did that? That he won all those awards?
no, I did not.
And long-awaited sequel to begin film. It's going to film immediately, and which is nice to know. It's going to be interesting to see how quick it will take him to make it. John Gotti's son will be the soul of the movie. Gotti's son will serve as the key advisor for the sequel. Junior Gotti aims to cut down the falsehoods, innuendos, and slander. He wants to bring out the truth, the man who raised him, whose name he carries, and to whom he is devoted. Also, Junior Gotti has provided unfettered access to the family archives and documents to the makers. And that's how they should make a movie, doing it that way. Wouldn't you love to see those archives?
Yeah.
To know a lot of truth that nobody knows? Gotti's fiction by so-called authorities designed to keep citizens scared. Moda said Gotti Jr. knows that Gotti fiction writers told as fact by so-called authorities are best described as boogeyman tales, fables cynically designed to keep under-information citizenry scared and willing to accuse the many illegal and immoral excesses of their self-proclaimed honorable protectors. Along with the sequel, a documentary will also be created. Along with the production of the Gotti sequel, there will be certain creation. There will be a creation for the documentary has been approved by the Gotti archives. The non-fiction production will include archives and tell the story of the long-lived man. Meanwhile, the release day of Gotti 2 has yet to be announced. Which, it sounds like they're really doing this, and I'm sure that a lot of people are going to watch it, and people like stuff like this. And especially, people that are in this channel. And this Angela says, no, I'm not Angel Gotti. It's Angela. So...
Yes. Yeah, I can't wait. So they're going to add a documentary. They did that with the Travolta movie a few years back. They had and that documentary was actually better than the movie. So they had a two-part documentary was good. So they're going to do the same thing with the Gotti 2 movie. It's going to be awesome. I really enjoyed that documentary.
You can't have an actor like John Gotti playing a role like that because he is typecast into so many other roles. I just can't, I couldn't get into him in that role at all.
You mean John Travolta?
I mean John Travolta playing Gotti, yes. Yeah. I just had a hard time. It just felt like you were watching John Travolta. And, I think casting is so important in any of these movies.
Well, I think the Travolta movie had its moments. I just think that it was probably, the casting was a little... And and in the editing room, how they did it, like if they would have just took that stupid intro out and the end part and switched up the scenes a little bit, it would have been an okay movie. But I liked it. So
okay, well, I appreciate you giving us that insight.
But I like Godfather 3, so so a lot of people don't like Godfather 3. I like that.
Randy Peter says, "Hey guys, you guys are great. Do it." I like that. Randy, we're going to read your quote 5 times. Okay, do a story. We read that already, and forgive me for rereading it. Let's see. Patty B, I heard they tried to castrate Sammy by kicking A-Light in the chin. Are you sure? Are you sure it was A-Light? I mean, I know a couple other people that are kind of up Sammy's ass. Can you guys do an episode about the time Rocky Balboa beat up Thunder Lips? Did A-Light know either of these guys, and was he involved? I hear he put the whole thing together. He was the promoter.
Yeah,
and he even he fought Mr. T also. The Travolta movie is a classic, so hilariously bad. Smoke the blunt, drink a beer, and crack up. That's what and I really don't know what to say to that.
I really don't think it's badly. I just think it's bad editing. That was it.
This is where you and I disagree. I just can't, John Travolta. I just can't do it.
He had his moments in the movie.
Yeah.
Especially when he played the older Gotti in prison. Like that, he had his moments.
Yeah, that was the best part when he played the older, because they cut his head of hair off. And he just seemed he seemed better in that role. Okay, tonight, A-Light had a WWE star on tonight. Okay, these two have no business talking about the life. Mario Fernandez. So Mario, what do you know about the life, Mario? And what the hell are you doing here? Okay. Angela says, I like the Gotti movie. And it says, David says, Jimmy is one with the bull braided on his ass. Okay. Okay. I didn't say that, people. Detroit Siggy, Joseph Massano, the boss of the Bonanno family, snitched on the real Mafia. Video, I was reading a lot of stuff about snitches today, and I couldn't believe some of these people that have snitched. They were so high and powerful in these families. John Napolitana. Travolta was not the right guy to play the Gotti, most definitely. And let's see. Angela says, looks like the haters are popping up. And,
yeah.
you know, we let them pop up.
I see him too in the corner of the screen. We're not going to even acknowledge some of the shit that I'm seeing here.
Oh, well, you know what? It's good when they're here. That means, you know, in the morning when I open up the show that we did the previous night, there's so much hate. And you could tell that these guys are just a bunch of guys that A-Light sent. A-Light has this, I'll give you an example. He has this woman that she goes around and pretends she's a model and she scams people out of money.
Oh, really?
Yes. And she also helps A-Light do, I'll give you an example. The fat slob, it's called the Fat Slob, and I hate to say this because it's so crude, and Angel Gotti page. It's an Instagram page, and she's behind it, this woman. I don't even want to call her a woman.
How do you know she's a woman?
Well, because we figured out who she was. And, you know, she's not that. I'm about to do something on her anyway.
Okay.
I'm going to introduce her to the world. But she is basically going behind, and she does everything for Johnny A-Light attacking people because this guy's a creep. And and this woman just writes horrible stuff for him. And that's what she does. When you have pages like that and you attack people, you call people rapists and child molesters and stuff. This is what they do. Then you have John Wolf who comes on the page and says, Lee bans everybody. You can't intellectually belittle. So you have losers like this guy come on the page. And, you know, he defends a guy that makes these pages and calls people child molesters and stuff. So people like John Wolf are the perfect example of what's wrong with everything going on in this world, because they are okay with this guy, Johnny A-Light. So, and the best way to deal with these jerks that come in here and do this is take them on. Don't hide from them. Say, here, this is this guy right here. What's your deal, man? You know, and that's what we have to say to them. Cuban, yes, rest in peace, John J. Gotti. Definitely. Angel Jane Rose. Okay, I don't know what you're doing there. Gunner is a fugazi. Nobody can vouch for this meth head. But you know one thing we can vouch on, Detroit? He didn't rat.
Yeah.
And
I haven't seen no paperwork on Gunner's.
Yeah, there's no paperwork showing. The one thing we know about Gunner is he did 13 years, and there's no evidence that he ratted on anybody. And that's what's, and whether you like Gunner or not, and we all know he just doesn't shut up when he talks. The fact of the matter is he's nothing like Johnny A-Light or these other guys. That's just fact. Okay, let's see. We have Angela. She's a con artist, and this is the woman that we're talking about that's out there right now working for Johnny A-Light with these putting up these pages and stuff. She's a con artist, steals from everyone, pretends to have cancer for money, real dirtbag. Yes, and you know, but she has this picture up of this beautiful model, and she sends pictures of this guy to women, from this woman to guys, and says, "This is me." And actually, she looks like her after the woman got stung by a bee several times and just swelled up. That's what she really looks like.
So she's a catfish. That's what she's a catfish.
Yeah. But I don't like to call her a catfish because she's like much uglier than a catfish. You know, she's just so sad. And Johnny A-Light probably like winks his eye at her or something, and she goes and does all these things for him. You know, there's a lot of stuff we're finding out about what's going on. It's all coming out, and we're going to discuss it. Regina Phalange, Lee calls serious question for you both. Are of you? How many years in prison did you guys do? Interesting to hear. I've never been in prison. I've been in jail and I did some time. There's no doubt about that. I did time on paper. I was wanted and ran from the. I had people looking for me for quite a while. The United States Marshals were looking all over the country for me. And luckily, I was eventually caught and I got a chance to change my life, but I never ratted on nobody. I had the opportunity, never ratted on nobody. And did my time on paper and did my time in jail. I was lucky. I didn't get into prison, you know. You want to answer that question? To tell them?
Yes, I did. I did 11 months back in 2009. I never went up the road. No. But I was in Metro West and Dade County.
And if anybody knows about that jail, is a very rough place. That jail,
not Metro West, not the 11 months that I did. That was Mickey Mouse. Metro West.
Yeah,
no, yeah, that had a fucking guard in this stuff.
Okay, now what is the difference between Metro West and
county? Which I've been in county.
Right.
County is first of all, it's the most oldest jail. They got fucking real rats, big old rats in that jail. And they got a lot of you got a lot of people like murderers, like the 6th floor, 5th floor, fighting for their cases. That's a really filthy jail right there. Then you got Stockade, which I've been in, and there's no guard in that cell, and then that's some gladiator shit right there.
You know, I spent,
but I did 11 months in Metro West, yeah, which is just doing time is not even. You shouldn't even.
They call that
be proud of. You know.
No, they call that a bullet, because a bullet you could do in county jail, and usually it's a year. So I'm guessing they sent you to a year, and you got out on good time. Is that what happened?
No, I was out on bond, and I violated my bond, so I had to fight my case in Metro West, and that was in 2009.
You know, I spent a month and a half in San Diego, and the San Diego jail is right in the center of the city. It's a very strange. The way it's right in the center of the city is just weird enough, but it's also within like a mile and a half of the border, and you get some really tough characters in that place. I mean, you're talking pure gangbangers. I mean. Guys that you wouldn't want to mess with the tattoos, some heads, and the tear. They got the whole thing. These guys were so bad that they used to walk them around. They would have their arms and hands cuffed, and they'd have 3 guards with them, one on each side and one in the back. That's how much respect they gave these guys. How scared they were.
Crazy, huh?
Oh, and you know, it's funny too, when they were walking, these guys were smiling and laughing. I remember looking at them saying, oh my God, look at them. You're smiling and laughing, and they're cuffed down like that and stuff. It makes you wonder though, were they really smiling and laughing, or were they just doing that to present the persona, you know?
Yeah.
Okay. So Siggy, Detroit Siggy, nobody said he told. He never had any affiliation with the local mafia is all I'm saying, my friend. Hey, I appreciate the way you put that. See, if we disagree, Detroit, that's cool, man. But you know what's really cool is the way that you presented that. I mean, I wish that more people can present things without being so damn nasty. John, there was a retired prison guard from Marion Prison where Gotti was. In a video on YouTube, he tells you some experiences John Gotti went through in prison. The biggest problem John Gotti had in prison is called the United States federal government that wanted to make an example of him and the way they treated him. I mean, who's a bigger mafia than the United States government?
Yes.
Mario Fernandez, thanks for putting me on timeout. I'm Cuban from New York. I hate A-Light and all these rat shows. You just happen to steal everything from Mob Talk Radio. I've never listened to Mob Talk Radio
I'm a
once.
big fan of Mob Talk Radio.
Yeah. So I don't understand. How can we steal anything from Mob
It's a
Talk
fucking
Radio?
troll. It's a fucking troll. But
Yeah,
I'm a
but-
big fan of Mob Talk
Yeah.
Radio.
But this is the point. You know, what do you think that we sit by Mob Talk Radio? Who runs Mob Talk Radio?
Jeff Canarsie.
Okay, Jeff Canarsie.
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I'm going to tell you something. Do you
The
know
guy's
who?
a troll.
Well, wait a minute.
Fernandez.
I just want to say something.
Yeah.
Who did I block from this station? I mean, from our channel, the first day,
I don't know. You tell
Mob
me.
Talk Radio,
Mm-hmm.
because I didn't know who he was.
Mm-hmm.
And I had Jimmy Calandra on, and he came in, and he's asked Jimmy a tough question, and Jimmy didn't want to answer it.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of was defending Jimmy, and I thought he was being rude.
Mm-hmm.
And if I could redo that, I would not have done what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
You know, the fact of the matter is, he asked Jimmy a tough question.
You should have asked him. No, you did. I think you did ask the
Yes,
question.
I said to Jimmy, "Do you want to answer it?" And Jimmy said, "No."
No
Do you
comment.
remember what the question was?
Something about Gene Borello.
He said something about he spoke highly of Gene, and all of a sudden he changed his mind, and he didn't want to touch that. And you know, there's a lot of things too, and you know, we have some pictures too that we're going to present on the website that would make you flip your mind when you see who's together with who.
But when are you going to unblock Jeff Canarsie? You got him still blocked. You need to this Mob Talk Radio. You need to unblock him.
Yeah, I'll do that. Did you ever ask me? Did you ever ask me why? Come on, I got 1,000 things. You know.
Yeah.
You know, it's hard to.
Yeah, I got you.
Just remember. A matter of fact, I'm going to give you more control so you can help me in that area too. You know, doing it all by myself, and then the show's a lot busier than I thought it was going to be this soon. But so Mario, thank you for your question. If you have any other questions, please let us know. And when you're done, you go back and you tell Johnny A. Light, "Hey, I got him a good question, Johnny." Okay. Let's see. Mario again. Thanks for putting. We read that one. Okay. Gotti movie had better scenes than the original HBO, but the acting was terrible. I think, you know what? I think that's pretty accurate. Do you think that was pretty accurate?
Which movie?
What I just read.
Yeah, but which Gotti movie you're talking about?
Okay, Gotti had the better scenes than the original HBO, but the acting was terrible.
The acting, the second guy, the Travolta guy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Kevin says, "Where's the Johnny Depp crap?" I already told you. If you were here in the beginning of the show,
It's on the bottom of the screen.
Yeah, we talked about it. You know, we're going to do it next Friday, and that's the day we're going to do it. We're going to have an expert here on it.
Look at the banner, and you look at the banner, and it has all that information right there.
Alan Higgins says, "At least Lee and Kane don't look autistic." Let's not make fun of autistic people, though. You know, that's we have to have our boundaries there. But you know, I understand what you're saying. We could use a different word than autistic. How about they don't look as challenged or something like that? But you know, we appreciate that. We don't want to look like any of them. Let me tell you guys something I'm going through right now. Everybody's selling out. You know, all these guys that came in here acting like tough guys, and they were all saying, "Oh, we're going to get these people. You know, we're going to get these rats and stuff." Now they're all jumping ship, and you know, they're becoming friends with the rats. And here's what they're doing: they're walking around right now and they're saying, "Well, there's only one guy here right now that makes this total thing. He's talking about rats all the time." Why don't you explain that? You know what's going on, Kane Shade. Why don't you explain what's going on without mentioning any names?
As far as what say that again, Lee.
I got to say it again. What are you?
Yes, you got to
like something?
Yeah. No, I'm just saying.
Okay. So right now, we had trouble. You know what happened today? You know, come on, hop to it, kid.
Well, we're talking about certain people who are soft. Is that what we're talking about? Because I didn't understand the
Yes,
question.
yes,
Yeah.
yes.
I thought you were gonna cover that, but yeah, there's certain people, you know, either you're with the rats or you're not. It's simple as that. So
And this is the thing. When you claim to be something and then and then all of a sudden you're starting to have relationships with these people that you've been talking about, no matter who you are. And then what you do is you start blaming other people, sticking up for these people. You have to question
mm,
why you're even doing this. And this is what's happened for the last couple of weeks. And this is what Johnny A. Light likes,
mhm.
you know. And if one of these rats contact you, you don't talk to them.
Hell no, they're liars.
Yeah,
They're all fucking liars.
and they try to contact me. I didn't have any conversation with them, you know. And we'll just leave it at that. And if the person I'm talking about gets mad, all I can say is, "Oh well, you shouldn't have done it."
Yeah.
Gunner's mother was Toko, so people know who Tokos were. They ran the mob in Detroit for decades, and there's no doubt they were related to Gunner. Gunner's mother was a Toko, so I do believe he had ties to the Detroit mob through birth and all the family members, especially grandparents and uncle. Yes, there's no doubt that he's part of the Tokos. There's no doubt. And nobody ever said otherwise, and we wouldn't do that. Black Man, I thought Black Mass was an
It was all right.
excellent movie.
It was okay. Yeah.
Despite Benedict Cumberbatch, yeah, I thought it was a great movie.
It was better than The Departed. What do you think? You like The Departed better?
That's a tough one. The Departed was like a fiction movie, like real, and they put a lot of real incidences into the movie that happened. And the movie they made Jack Nicholson look like he was Whitey Bulger, or like his attitude and stuff. I would say.
You know, a Boston movie that they don't talk about is The Town. Did you ever see that movie with
gosh.
Ben Affleck?
Who hasn't?
What do
I'm
you
sure
think about that movie?
It's one of the great movies. I mean,
The Town was really great, and that was based on a true story too. That's what,
and
a bunch of guys robbing banks and shit in Boston.
Sure. And the guy that stole that movie was Vermeer, the guy that played his partner, the one at the end that got shot up. I mean, I thought he just stole the movie as an actor. Okay, Lee, please do a show dedicated to Vince McMahon. I want to hear all. I have something planned on that. I have I can go on, as you know, I can go on so long with that because of everything that happened. But I'll give you an example. Everything happening now, you have people saying really pretty vicious stuff from the A-Light, whatever his name is, camp, and just putting stuff up. And I can't even repeat the stuff that they've been saying. Rats love social media because they love to talk no-brainer. Yep. It's amazing. And, they never stopped talking. When they were rats, they talked, and they're on social media, and they're still talking. But what do? They act like they've never ratted before and that they're still in the mob and they still have their position, even though most of these rats had no position in the mob. They were like street people. That's all they were, street level people. Vincent says, Johnny Depp made the whole movie, everyone around him suck. Yes. Which movie? Oh, you're talking about
the
yes.
Travolta, yeah.
No. Johnny Depp. He's talking about Black Mass.
Oh,
Okay.
Black Mass.
Yes. Black Mass he's talking about. And yeah, he was really good in that movie. And I don't know, did any of you guys see the documentary on Whitey Bulger? If you go to Amazon, that's a wonderful, wonderful piece of work right there. They were errand boys. That's exactly Hootie Hoo, Detective Anthony Russo. that guy's just disappeared off the face of the earth lately. Nobody knows where he is. So, I've had that question. Has anybody heard from this guy? Because he just basically disappeared. Greg says you should look at the people's families that have been hurt by these rats and have them come on and give their story. And that's what we're working on. We are working on that very thing, Greg, getting people on this show and talking to them. You know what I did today?
Because there's two sides of every story.
Yeah, and a lot of people would say, well, they were part of the mob and they knew what was going to happen. And families admit that. They do admit that. But it's still part of your family, so it hurts. And that, and let's face it, Sammy Gravano was very famous at doing that. And that's why they sued him when his book came out, and they won. And now they want to sue him because of all this money he's making off their names when he's sitting down there in his little crypt keeper vault. And let's see, it's like a rat's a rat. Yeah, Black Mass was great. Should have been better, though. Netflix series instead. Ultra, how you doing tonight, my man? Gunnar Lindblom would like. Ultra loves Gunnar. I think it's Gunnar. Okay, is this you, Gunnar? Ultra? Gunnar Lindblom would knock out Gene in 2 punches, brah. Don't tell that to Gene, I always notice the guys that always talk about how tough they are, you have to wonder. And if you think about Gene, and if you think about Gunnar, they tell you how tough they are. I mean, according to them, they're the biggest badasses of all time. Are you scared by either one of them?
Why should I? Why should I be scared?
They don't intimidate you at all, right?
Definitely not.
Yeah. It's like, and that's the thing. But they'll tell you how many fights they've been in, and they've never, they'll just let you know. Vincent says, "I want to tell you, your show keeps sticking it to these rats, and we are going to keep sticking it to the rats." And you know what they're doing now, Vincent? They're basically trying to. Somebody said to me that all these shows are against me now, and they don't like me, and I'm like, so you mean the rats are against me? My heart's broke. When you hear that, Cane Shade, do you get upset?
No. Why should I get upset?
And they left Cane Shade alone. They haven't bothered Cane Shade in 2 weeks, and Cane Shade was getting all upset. He was like, damn, they don't even know who I am. And then all of a sudden, now Cane Shade is.
Oh, man. They're coming after me, man.
They are. It's like,
I'm doing something right?
Yep. The more they come after you, the better it is. Okay, let's see right here. It says, Cane Shades, what happened in Miami during the All-Star weekend with Chris Pacello and Joey Merlino? I
have no clue.
Okay, well, Chris Paciello, he was that guy that used to date all the actresses and stuff too.
Well, he ran with Jimmy Calandra.
Yeah, and then he got in trouble and went to jail. But he also was with a lot of actresses. I don't know if you knew that.
Yeah, Madonna.
More than Madonna. That was like so much more than Madonna, though.
Yeah, but he dated Madonna.
Yeah. He was like the whore master in Hollywood. He was like Richie Camilletti, better known as Camelot Camilletti. That was his nickname in Brooklyn. So he was with Cher for like 10 years.
But who could say that they were with Madonna, though? That's a big thing there, man.
But, well, a lot of people could say they've been with Madonna.
I know.
I mean, come on. What do you think?
Yeah, but you can't say you were with Madonna. I can't.
I don't think I would have no interest in saying I'm with Madonna, to be honest with you.
You don't like Madonna? You wouldn't, Madonna?
Dude. Do you know that she went into this place with these guys? They were lined up, and she would have them strip naked and check their penises to see which one had the biggest one.
I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah, well, it was in it was in a book that they were talking about her, and she never sued nobody for saying it. But it's okay. Lee Cole, did Gene get beat up at Timers? I don't know. Well, I know that they said. So why don't you tell people what happened to Gene when he was in jail?
I heard he had a rough time when he was locked up. That he had his ass handed to him, like literally handed to him.
And then he wound up in
PC.
PC, which is the roughest area. I mean,
Yeah.
if you don't want to go to PC. I mean, you just don't. Especially when you're
up at timers. What is timers though?
I
He
don't
said,
know.
Liko, did Gene get beat up at timers? What timers is what?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
Timers, is it a bar or a
Yeah.
club? I mean, let me tell you something that was really sucks. And this is what I heard, that he terrorized Howard Beach. And he used to drive in front of the kids' homes there. And there were certain kids that he didn't like. And he would drive in front of their homes and terrorize the families, sit outside, wait for the kids to come out. And he was doing this to all these younger kids, teenagers and stuff in that area. And a lot of people were upset that he was terrorizing Howard Beach like that. And the reason, in the old days, you couldn't do that in Howard Beach because you had a lot of mobsters that would never allow that to happen. But, somebody said something to me, it was really kind of poetic when you think about it. But they said to me that all those guys now are in jail or dead. And so when this guy basically ratted everybody out, he came out and he knew nobody was in Howard Beach because he ratted them out.
Yeah.
And then he terrorized the area. And we all know what he did, from the home invasions. He was literally a bully. He was just a real bad bully.
So no one basically could protect the neighborhood, and he took advantage of that. Is that what you're
Yes.
saying? Yes.
There was nobody there that could protect the neighborhood.
Yeah.
I mean, not, if you're a regular guy, and then again, it's not like you can have a pistol or anything because New York has some of the strictest gun laws in the country.
And if you're from the hood, you're supposed to protect the hood. Not you don't shit where you eat.
Yeah. And I'll tell you one thing though, he wouldn't go do that in the hood.
Or when I say hood, neighborhood,
I know
that's his neighbor.
yeah.
That's his neighborhood that he vandalized or broke into house. That's his name. That's where he's from, right?
Yeah.
That's his neighborhood, right? You're not supposed to shit where you eat. That's low level junkie shit. I keep telling you, Lee. I know that there's no history of him doing drugs, but that's junkie shit. Fucking breaking into houses in your neighborhood
And just bullying people. You can't, all you got to do, and this is the problem. He contacts people and he starts telling them stories and he's nice to them. And so they think he's an okay guy. And the reality is he's not an okay guy. He has these mood swings. He'll be okay. And then all of a sudden, boom, he'll just explode. And, that's him. And it's just scary. You notice he has not been around since that night that we did that little thing with him, that show.
Yeah.
I mean, he took down his station and he's not been around. And then everybody said, that's because you snitched and ratted. No, nobody here snitched and ratted on Gene.
Well, I guess he's not from Angel says though he's not from Howard Beach.
Okay.
So, or whatever.
But I know he spent some time in Howard Beach.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that he lived there too. Didn't he live there at one time?
Yeah. You're not supposed to shit where you eat.
Yeah. And you know what's worse though? If he went there and did that, you got to question people letting him get away with that. I mean, is that how bad the world is now that they're letting guys like that get away with stuff like that? This is a neighborhood. There's not a couple guys that could do something. Makes you really think. I mean,
yeah.
Sean says, okay,
go ahead.
Let's see. Sean says, still waiting for you to tell us about street credit and experience with some very bad dudes in Boston in the combat zone. That's why I sub to your channel. You turn into a pro instigator. Sean. So, Sean, that's something. I already talked to you about what I'm going to do and what we're planning on doing with the show. I don't know what to tell you. I'm hoping that you stick around and you give us the opportunity to present that, but also I'm building a website and a Patreon page and stuff. And we're going to talk about a lot of things that we cannot talk on here. And let me tell you the main reason we can't talk about a lot of things. Because we basically, when these rats, they're always rats, and they're owned by the government for the rest of their life. So when people start bothering them, what they do is they run to their handlers. And they tell their handlers they're being bothered because, these guys are still sissies, and they're rats. And they tell their handlers that they're being bothered. And then the handlers get mad that anybody's bothering these guys. So we have a government that defends these mass murderers, and they go after people that have not done the stuff that these people have done to protect these mass murderers. Think about that. That's some really bad shit, isn't it?
Definitely.
So, you got some guy like pulls off 3 murders, let's say, and then he goes to his handler and says, well, this guy's bothering me, saying a lot of stuff. They want us to threaten them and stuff so they can investigate us. That's what they want people to do.
Wow.
And that's welcome to the United States government. That's what they do now. Well, they've been doing it for a while. I mean, they've been, just think about it. They started this crap with Sammy Guevara. It's like I told you, when Sammy Guevara got arrested down in Arizona for that drug trade, and people said, oh, the evidence is that he was the leader, even though people believe Sammy. But the Arizona State Police hid it. They did not want the FBI to know because they knew the FBI would come in and cover it up. They would have said to Sammy, stop doing that, Sammy, and put him someplace else. Because
I believe in the comment section, they're saying that you got a donation, but I don't see the super chat here. I don't see it. But I believe Kevin Cooley donated $4.99. Well, we don't see it.
Oh, he joined our monthly club. Thank you.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
And in that $4.99 one, you're going to get to see a video made by Kane Shade. And he's going to make you a personal video. And that's part of being there. And that's a monthly group. Just so we have 3 of them there. We have one for $2.99, $4.99, and for $14.99. Basically, each level offers you more stuff.
What's the YouTube Mob Wars cartoon there?
You can put whatever you want in there. We'll
I'll make something. I'll make something cool.
And we're going to put some personal stuff in there that nobody else sees. We have a lot of stuff that we don't show. I mean, we got pictures of the rats meeting and sitting. I'm not going to name the rats, but meeting and sitting in a restaurant together. It was like a rat convention. And they're all sitting there like, oh, let's have a good time. All sitting at this table. And it's like, the picture I seen was pretty incredible. To see 3 rats sitting at a table like that. Wasn't that an incredible picture?
Definitely was.
Yeah.
I think it was in the wintertime that picture was taken, though.
In the wintertime?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone was wearing jackets. I mean, they're not going to wear that shit in the summertime.
Yeah. It's just amazing, though, that they get together. Hey, let's come together here. And it's like, dude, you guys are rats. You put hundreds of men in jail. Okay. Regina says, Lee Cole, 3rd, did FBS team up with Giambarello? Serious question. Us being an audience want to know the beef. I have no beef with FBS. That's basically what it comes down to. And if you want to ask him if that's true, you can ask him. But, it's not my job to say. Okay. Stool says, Sissy Jean just got chased by teenager mutts. The mutt. Yeah. It was a bunch of, but some of them were in their 20s too. And, it's funny though, because Didn't they deny that video for a while?
Yes, they did. Well, people, well, the fanboys or whatever. When I posted the video, a lot of people they denied that shit. They were saying, no, that video was done in San Francisco. No, that was in Chicago. That's not his car. And then Gene came out and said it was his.
And he
That
goes,
was,
yeah, I was there, and they were
mhm,
chasing me, and even though you could see he was backing away in the video,
mhm.
then he was talking about, he stood up for himself. But we all know the truth there. I actually, let's see, James says, I actually don't dislike any of these rat shows, and you guys don't either. Stop lying. Well, I can tell you this, James. I don't watch any. I used to watch some of them. I don't
Yeah,
watch
me too.
any.
I stopped.
Yes,
Yeah,
I don't watch any of them no more. Especially once I learned about these guys.
yeah,
Once you learn about these guys, the first thing they do is they tell you the things they want you to think they did, but they leave out all the other stuff. They don't want to let you know what they did. I mean, I'll give you one guy. A guy can say, "Well, I got in trouble for murdering or being around a murder when it happened," but that person doesn't tell you that they were also indicted on other murders.
mhm,
They don't even mention it. And when you start exploring this stuff with all of them,
yeah.
and
It's crazy.
and I'm going to be careful. I'm not going to name names. I'm going to tell situations and stuff, and they'll know who I'm talking about. But I'll just leave it at that. I'm not going to get into the war of telling them. I can call them out and say them by name, but that's just going to prolong it. So I don't really want to do it. Do you think that's the best way to handle it?
Yeah. Just hold on. I got my dog coming in there.
No problem.
Yeah, definitely. Sometimes the best response is no response, Lee.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hold on for 1 second. My dog just came in the room. Hold on.
No problem. And that's what we do a lot of times. The best thing to do is no response, but then when I do respond, I'll have like a group of fanboys attack me something viciously because they don't want to believe it. And it's amazing though that so many people that watch these shows believe these guys. When they tell their stories, I would say probably 70% of their stories is just fiction. I heard this one person they were talking about, they go on and talk about all these things and how tough they were and all that stuff. But the reality was they were considered low-level junkie. But they want you to think that they were running the street and beating everybody up. That's not who they are, Okay. John, again, I think Gene is not tough, but you can't turn your back on him. He's the type that, yeah, oh, without a doubt. Yeah, let me tell you something. Any of these guys, if anybody thinks that they can, that these guys won't kill you or do something bad to you, you're insane. There's no doubt. Would you turn your back on these guys?
Which guys are we talking about? The rats? I don't fuck with rats.
No, would you turn your back? Say you met one in the street and you guys were just arguing, and would you underestimate them first of all?
No, I mean it depends. Depending on what you're trying to say. What do you mean? Me? What type of guy? A gangster? What do you mean?
No, a rat.
A rat? Fuck a rat. Yeah, fuck a rat.
But would you underestimate them though?
No. I wouldn't even put myself. Yeah. Matter of fact, if I seen a rat outside, I would ignore him. I wouldn't acknowledge him. I'd keep it pushing.
I can understand that. Okay, maybe Gene got a movie deal too and doesn't have the time for his YouTube channel. What kind of movie deal would Gene get right now?
I don't know. Who would play Gene in a fucking goddamn movie, huh? Who would take that role on?
Whew. I don't know. But did you think it would be like a big time actor?
I don't know. It would be one of those Walmart movies. You go in Walmart and they have the $5 bin. It'd be one of those movies.
I could see playing him.
Uh-huh.
Pee Wee Herman.
No, he played in the Blow movie as the
Yeah, he
gay
did.
guy. Yeah,
But
yeah,
Joe, just picture you take Pee Wee Herman, give him the crew cut and
yeah.
stuff. Tell him to gain about 20 pounds. Angela, I honestly believe people actually think Borello is anything more than a corner punk. And, when you're there terrorizing kids and parking in front of their houses and stuff and trying to intimidate them, what else can you be? That's like so sad and pathetic. James says, it's not the rats that are entertaining. It's the fact that when one of them shout another out, they turn against their friends to be cool with a rat. Ha ha ha. You know something? I've seen stuff that I would never think. If anybody thinks that I was thinking that I would have a show here and I would be with Cane Shade and I
A
would
guy
be,
a guy who runs a bodega, no?
yes, and we would be dealing with this and the stories that we hear. There's a lot of things that you guys do not hear that we hear, and we can't say it because if we say it, we can lose our station. I mean, our channel, or have them whine. We can get in trouble. So when you have a channel, you got to be careful what you say. You basically have to stick with fact, and if you can't just say something that you think may have been happening. And if you make a mistake, you got to correct it. So, that's the thing. I mean, we hear thousands of things about these guys that you would never think. You would say, wow, I can't hear this. I can't believe this. I mean, one guy's brother was threatened by another guy who said that he, when they were kids, he whacked them off. And he was going to tell everybody.
That's
Who
weird.
does
Huh?
that?
That's some
Huh?
weird shit. That's weird.
That's some weird shit, But imagine he threatened his brother and said, "Oh, well, I'm going to tell him that you whacked me off." Brothers. Cane Shade, what happened with? That's an old one. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry, man. That thing just jumped right back. Okay.
And the
Chris-
club that Chris Pacello owned was Liquid back in the days in the late 90s in Miami. On South.
I hear that he had it all going on and he lost it real quick. Got involved with some dealing and stuff, didn't he?
I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah,
no.
and then he
I
went.
didn't know he owned that club, in South Beach.
And isn't it amazing? He went to jail. Was looking at time. What's the first thing he did? Rat it. So we do know that the Bath Street Boys were rats. Not just one of them, all of them. And that's why it's amazing. They tell you how tough they are, but they don't talk about the fact that they were all rats. Kane has met me in the streets. Let's go.
Kane's meet me in the streets. Let's go. Me and you. Whoever wins gets to date Lee.
Well, maybe we're dating already. Maybe he doesn't have to fight you. Okay, maybe he doesn't have to fight you. What do you think about that, Big Willie? And why do they call you Big Willie, Willie? Okay. Shit people come up with, man, just to try to hurt your feelings.
Obviously joking around.
Yeah, of course. Okay. James says also, Sammy is the king of YouTube, and everyone is in search for his acceptance. That's
What's that about?
Yeah, but you know what? That's them. That's them. There's just certain people that glorify Sammy. You know what it is? Think about it this way. Back in the day, these guys in the street, they all know who Sammy was. And so to them, Sammy's like Babe Ruth of gangsters. Now he's the Babe Ruth of rats.
Read that JC comment right there. No matter, highlight that shit right there.
Where's down, lower, or higher?
All right, let me see. No matter what, though, I don't approve of anyone snitching on Gene either. Two wrongs don't make a right.
But who's snitching on him?
Yeah. Who snitched on Gene?
Yeah. I did a show and people said, "Oh, you did a show, so you're snitching on him."
He's talking about I don't know what the fuck he's talking about.
No, I think I know what he's talking about. just you got to remember too. People could still do their shows. That's up. You know,
I just don't understand why.
but we shouldn't snitch on Gene, even though he snitched on half of America.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I understand why.
Is that how it goes? It's okay for
that.
Gene to snitch and put guys in jail for 25 years, but it's not okay for anybody to say nothing about him. Is that how it works? Even though he goes on and threatens to beat the shit out of the people that he's being charged with already hurting, or he has a case on. It just doesn't make sense. Let's not snitch on him because we give him a pass to snitch.
Yeah, Chris Pacello, I believe, wasn't from Bath Avenue, Lee.
He wasn't one of the boys?
No, he wasn't he wasn't part of the crew, no.
Are you sure? I could have sworn.
Yeah, no, he hung out with them, but he wasn't.
He did hang out with them.
He hanged out with them. Yeah, he was there. He was in the car when the murder of the woman.
Oh, then he was one of them.
No, that doesn't necessarily mean that he was hanging out. He
was hanging
out. Doesn't
mean
that it doesn't mean he was Bath Avenue crew. He would give, I believe, he would give information of where to break in the houses, but he wasn't one of them. He would help them out with licks and shit, but he wasn't one of them or stick ups. That's what they.
But he did get that disease that they have.
What's the disease that they have?
Yapping.
Yeah. But he wasn't a Bath Avenue crew member, and he wasn't from that area.
But I understand that when he finally did get busted, he sang like a pigeon. Mm-hmm. And he put a lot of people away. I'm not sure where he is now. If anybody knows that, I'd appreciate it. Is he in jail or out by now? Or is he sitting somewhere and the government protects?
I don't know. I've seen on the social media thing that he's out. I don't know nothing about Pacello. I just know that he wasn't a Bath Avenue crew member.
Okay, let's see. We'll go back over here. Mike Flame. He actually spoke bad about A-Light on his podcast yesterday. Said shows how little he knows about the mafia. Okay, was that this Pacello guy that spoke bad about him? Is that who you're talking about? Because that's kind of funny. That's just one rat speaking bad about another rat. So, we have to get used to that one. Okay, then we got Nick saying Chris walked by Joey courtside, was trying to. We seen that one. I'm sorry, guys. This thing just jumps over all over the place. Okay, why should John A-Light's bats put $200 and flip him for $400 and cross out his name like the West Coast gangs do? So did anybody in here buy?
Ultra says Chris Pacello is down in Miami with nightclubs again. Oh shit, I did not know that.
Yeah, he got a second chance in life despite all the shit he did. Yeah, doesn't surprise me. Lee, have you ever heard of Stevie Newell, A-Light's ex-business partner? He was close to Gotti Jr. No, I have not, but we could check into that. Angela says Staten Island. Chris, that's where Chris was from. Regina says, take a shot every time you hear them. Say rat. At Lee Cole, tell your audience. Oh, Regina, I was wondering where you were tonight. Damn, then you showed up. Were you just sitting in the background, Regina, waiting to get in there and put that one in there? You feel better now? Okay. Nicola, Sammy seems to have an overwhelming need to be liked. He craves to be liked. He's respected. He craves to be respected or to be seen tough. He likes to only tell the stories that makes himself look the best. Yes, it's just creepy, though. He's a creepy looking dude in a creepy looking basement telling creepy stories. Lee, do you read Gangland News? Yeah, I've read it sometimes. Lee Unk, you guys ought to interview Mama
A-Light.
Oh my God, I hear that she's a character, man. I hear that they all rat on each other and that when they fight, they go out and they start talking about each other. Did you hear that?
I don't know. I did not hear that.
That's what when I was listening to Mob Rats, he had on the girlfriend, the ex-girlfriend of the brother Jimmy. And I'm actually trying to get her on this show, but she's across seas, and it's hard
Who are
to
you
get
trying?
her.
You trying to get the mama of A-Light on
No,
here?
the girlfriend of
Oh.
Jimmy A-Light, the brother.
Okay.
Yeah, and she was, I don't know. Did you hear that show that night she was on?
No, I didn't.
She was talking about Jimmy A-Light and John, and she was saying like intimate stuff that nobody would know.
Oh man.
And it was some really funny stuff. And then she contacted me on Twitter, but it's just hard to get to hook up with her. Unless you're Jimmy A-Light, then you have no problem hooking up with her. Mind Your Business says you have to be absolutely dead from the neck down to buy a bat from illiterate midget. Anybody that spends $200 on a bat from Johnny A-Light has to have mental issues. They really do. Would you buy a bat from him?
No.
Any cost?
No. For what?
Would
you go online? You go online.
And that's the thing, you know. And do you see his shows when he's sitting there holding the bat like that? Like it's like, dude, why are you holding the bat like that? It makes no. A-Light interviews Steve Newell on the podcast if you want to know. Okay. Why every time Sammy tells a story, he doesn't come out at the end looking like a dirt bag? Oh, you mean like the Alan Kaiser murder? Because he's Sammy. He just wants to look good with everything. Do you have a particular story that you like that you heard from Sammy?
None of it's true. I mean, storytelling. But what do you mean a specific story?
Is there one that stood out? There's always one that, the one that stands out.
Oh yeah, the Paul Castellano thing and the penis.
Oh my God! Oh God! Why did you have to bring that up, dude?
I mean, you asked me.
Not the penis one.
You baited me into that question.
Oh my God! Now I gotta. Okay, for you people,
you baited me into that question.
For you people that don't know, Sammy did a show where Paul Castellano, who was the Godfather at that time, he was messing around with his maid, and so he went out and got a penis pump because his penis didn't work. And so Sammy claimed that when he heard about this, he asked Castellano if he could see his penis, and he wanted to see him pump it up. And then he talks about, I brought him in the room, and then Paul was kind of embarrassed because he's, Paul's a guy. He didn't want to do it. He's not gay. And Sammy goes, no, take it out. It's okay. It's just a penis. Seriously, what man? Think about it, Kane Shake. Can you think of one man you want to see pump up his penis?
No. I think the story is I guess some girl went into his club saying that some guy fucked her 5 hours straight. Then he wanted to see the guy, and then they go into the room, and he said, "Man, pull your pants out. Let me see what this penis pump does." That's the story according to Sammy.
Yeah, but what man asks another man to do that? And he admits it. And people are like, "Oh, that's a good story, Sammy." When you talked about the penis pump, it's like, really, dude? A matter of fact, someone claimed that he was as queer as a $3 bill. I believe it was you. Yeah, I believe you made a video on it.
I mean, yes, I took a clip of this show, and yes, there's possible rumors that Sammy Guevara is possibly a homosexual.
Didn't you have like a voyeur camera that actually showed him pumping the penis up?
No. Now you're getting outrageous here, Lee. No.
Okay. I wanted to start a rumor, Okay. Not a lie, a rumor. Okay. Okay, let's see. So Lee, if you read it, there's talk about Gene's videos. I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know much about Gene. I didn't even know who the hell Gene was until I started this show. And all of a sudden, he was in jail at that time, and all I heard about was this guy named Gene. And then all of a sudden, he got out of jail or prison, wherever he was. And how many days did it take Gene to get in trouble once he got out?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Like maybe, I think it was like a couple days.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't,
Mm-hmm. Oh man, got in trouble real quick, huh?
Oh, he did. Yes. Okay, Angel. According to Gunnar Lindblom, Gravano has script writers because he can't remember anything. Yeah, that's what Gunnar said. Gunnar said that Sammy can't remember anything, and Gunnar was going to write for them, and I don't know about this, but Gunnar says it, so it has to be true. So Gunnar said that they asked him about writing for the Gravano show, and when he said he wanted to get paid, they never called him back, or Sammy never called him back. Can you imagine Gunnar actually wanted to get paid?
What Gunnar wanted to get paid for what?
Oh my God.
I'm asking you a question. You're slow too, Lee. Lee, you're slow too. Now, don't act like you're the
okay.
smartest guy
At dinner with my uncle, okay, anonymous. At dinner with my uncle, who's skipper with an old school Gotti senior Howard Beach crew, 5 or 6 active wise guys there. They all heard about the YouTube mob rat war and are literally disgusted. Okay, but where were they when Gene was terrorizing the neighborhood? Mm-hmm. That's what. And then on top of that, Gene goes in his videos and makes fun. Have you heard that when he's making fun of the guys? Like one guy's called Phone Book.
Yeah.
He gets that.
Yeah.
Okay. Then John says, did you know Gene's grandfather was a respected boss? Fat Andy Ruggiero. Fat Andy was a soldier for Albert. Yeah, that guy was a brutal killer. Did you ever see any pictures of that dude?
Yes. But I believe one of Gene's relatives also, the one that was associated with the Gambino or was a maid guy in the Gambinos, he snitched. No, that's what they say.
Yeah, I believe so. Yeah. Okay, Southie 31 says, let's see here. What's the documentary about how the Irish and FBI were working together to get rid of the Italians? Well, that's true. They were working together, and everybody knows about that. With a lot of people don't know about that, but Whitey Bulger basically got the Mafia all wiped out there and arrested by setting them up. Lee, Gunnar says it is so it has to be true. I can understand that. Well, we'll do. How much more time you want to do? Another 15 minutes?
I mean, you got the UFC tonight.
That's right, man. Okay, we'll do about another 15 minutes. We don't want to miss the Dillashaw fight. Yeah. He's the guy that's been out for 2 years because he got busted with steroids, and so we want to see if he could fight without steroids. That's going to be interesting. I think he's going to get knocked out. I don't know why. I just do. Look, everything Sammy does is structural manipulation, teleprompter, cast, does his podcast, people, etc. Yes, Leroy. And Leroy, I haven't seen you before. Have you seen Leroy before?
No. In the comment section, no, I haven't seen him.
Yeah. Well, welcome, Leroy. I mean, if you're just welcome to the show, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Okay. Sammy got pissed because name mobsters won't come on his show. That's true. They will not come on his show because he's a creepy little man in a creepy little basement. I said he wasn't. He was a junkie. Who was that Angel that you're talking about? Just wondering. Anonymous says, I just meant that there's actually all over the street what's going on, and they are sickened by it. But all said, same thing. These guys are all rats. Can't be more of a disgrace. Could you imagine that, though, that, you live here in Howard Beach and all the guys that are out are all rats?
Yeah.
I mean,
That's
this is the
crazy.
same place that John Gotti walked the street.
Well, lived,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah. And back then, if you were a snitch, I mean, it usually didn't work out too well. I mean, you can ask what's his name, Willie Boy Johnson, which was a pretty incredible story. Do you remember how they found out he was a snitch?
Yeah. Diane Jackalone was her name.
Yes,
Outed her out.
in court,
Yeah.
and that was it. That was it with him. But that was a pretty sad story, actually, because they liked him. No,
That was
nobody.
fucked up though. That
Oh,
she outed him. She definitely sentenced him to death right there.
and that's the government. That's what they do. That's what they do. From Perth, Western Australia, struggling to live due to time conflict. Oh, I'm sorry about that, Leroy, but we appreciate you being up. Believe it or not, we have quite a few people. I see like 12 people. Yeah, we have about 12 people that stay on for our show. And we have quite a few from England too. So it is very, very much appreciated. Gunner is going to go to the, okay. He's going to be a ring announcer tonight. Okay. Lee Cole, do you plan on renaming your show the Lee Cole and Kane Shade Show? You never know. You never know. We were talking about other ventures because we're both big sports fans. So,
I like the Lee Cole show featuring Kane Shane's uncle.
how, actually, he's been giving me a hard time. He wants to call it the Kane Shade Show featuring Lee Cole.
Well, here's the thing. My nickname is really Unc. Like I had a radio show called Kane Shades. There's Kane Shades, Bo, Jay, and Unc. Really, if you guys want to just call me Unc, or you like Kane Shades, Unc. Kane Shades, Kane Shades is my Miami Hurricane podcast that I used to do.
How about if we call our show Unc and the Hunk?
Unc.
Yeah, I heard someone in the corner say junk, Unc and the junk. Okay, we got to.
Let me show real quick. Let me show everyone some Kane Shades. I got some Kane Shades right
Sure.
here. Hold on. Give me 1 minute. These are Kane Shades. I got them here. I sell them at the Miami Hurricane game. Here, these are Kane Shades.
Oh, see, I
You
didn't
get it?
realize that.
Yeah, they got Kane Shades on the bottom there.
I remember when they used to be a good football team.
Oh, they're on their way back. They're gonna be all right.
I'm a Badger fan, so we never know how good.
Now these college athletes can make money.
Worst thing that ever happened.
Yes, off of endorsements. So do you imagine the Hurricanes, what they're going to be in 2-3 years? The Top Team, they just did a deal with Top Team, and some Hurricane players are making some serious money off endorsements now. So watch it in a few years.
And what it means is they're not going to play nearly as hard. It's
no. That they're going to keep the kids in South Florida.
But here's what I don't understand. Here's what I don't. Let's talk sports.
Hold on, Lee. Check Alabama. The roster of Alabama,
that's
they're
like
all from South
NFL,
Florida.
And it's an NFL roster.
But no, you check the roster now. They're all from South Florida. One of the best athletes are from South Florida.
Yeah, I remember when I lived up in the Palatka area, they had some St. Augustine. They had some really good players up there. Okay, Sean White says A-Late needs to change his show to do it for. Yeah, you know what? The weirdest thing, he's literally disappeared for the last week. I haven't seen him anywhere, which is like the longest he's been off. And then Gene over the weekend shut down his show. Do you find it kind of weird that they disappeared like that?
I never really followed the A-Light show, so I don't know when he's on or what's going on. I haven't like religiously watched it, so I don't know what's going on with the A-Light show. So he hasn't been on for like a month.
Yeah,
huh?
He hasn't. Well, no, he's been interviewed maybe a week ago. But there was a time he was on every other day. So that's what
I know him and the Felix guy. Don't they got a Patreon or some shit like that?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, that's a good point though. Maybe they're just doing something with
Patreon. Truth and Light says A-Light just put out a video. Okay.
Oh, he did?
Yeah.
Okay. Was he nice to everybody? Okay, it says just made a show with Rob Van Dam, which is fucking weird. You ain't a joking. A wrestling show? Is that the Rob Van Dam, the West
Yeah, that's
wrestler?
from ECW.
Wow. Okay. Good night, Lee. I understand I have old glass picks and some materials you can have to talk about the combat. Sean, you know something? I'm gonna look you up in the like right now. I can look you up in the box. I'm gonna give you my email. Look out for it, and maybe you could send something to me about that. I'd love to get some stuff on the combat zone. And there was a guy that worked in the combat zone named Artie. If you could find anything out about him and give it to me, I'd appreciate it. But okay, Leroy, do you need another?
You need another Jim Kelly.
Who needs
Jim? Jim Kelly played for the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, well,
which I got an announcement that people don't know about me. I'm a Buffalo Bills fan. Yes, I am, and Jim Kelly was the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. I have family in Buffalo. I root everything Miami except the Dolphins. I do not like the Dolphins. I've been a Buffalo Bills fan since I was 8 years old. But Jim Kelly played for the University of Miami, and he was the quarterback for the Buffalo Bills. They went to 4 straight Super Bowls, and unfortunately,
the best team never to win a Super Bowl.
Yes,
them and Minnesota Vikings, 2 teams that got there all the time and never won, and they both had great teams.
Yeah,
you know, Scott Norwood.
Oh man,
you know. Okay, let's see.
Scott.
Hootie overdosed. Gene got violated. A-Light is recovering from fake heart surgery. Why do people keep saying Hootie overdosed? I mean, I keep hearing that. I mean,
wait, I guess he disappeared for a while, or
yeah. A matter of fact, me and him got into a little tiff, and when he threatened to sue me, and then. Since then, I haven't heard from him, and that was about maybe a week and a half ago. It's amazing. I've been threatened to be sued now by 2 of the ex-rats.
Wow!
They're threatened to sue me, and I'm like, damn. I'm sitting here waiting for these lawsuits to show up.
You're a fucking triply.
But it's like that thing with the Sopranos one time when someone threatened to sue Tony, and then Paulie Walnuts goes, he said, "What the hell, lawyers?
Yeah,
you guys are supposed to be tough guys, and you're threatening me with lawyers." Yes, people, I've been threatened to be sued twice now by these guys.
Mickey Griggs says, "You guys have a good night, Lee and Unc. You take care, Mickey."
Yeah, we're about to shut it down here too, and we appreciate everybody tonight. Anonymous, you have a nice big one. We're going to read it, and we're going to close out the show with you. He's the first guy to be flamboyant. Nah, definitely not. He loved the limelight, but plenty of guys before him were out there. John lived like a 24/7 gangster. A man's man. Stop it, Carrie. Okay. I'm glad that you ended it that way, because I've never heard that he was a man's man. Did you ever hear that he was the man's man?
Who was a man? John Gotti was a man's man.
Oh, I thought he was talking about Johnny A-Light.
No, he was the first guy to be flamboyant, not definitely.
Oh, without a doubt.
The limelight. He's talking about Gotti there, Lee.
Okay, well, if you're talking about Gotti, without a doubt, definitely a man's man. Hootie is at MobCom? Are you serious?
Are you really? He's at MobCon?
Yeah. If any of these rats go to MobCon, I mean, really. So there's a lot of people, about Michael Frances. I've been reading some interesting stuff on him, and there's a lot of people that say he wasn't, and then a lot of people say he was a rat. That's a pretty interesting story. I don't know what to think, to be honest with you. Lee Cole, were you guys invited to Mob? Nobody invited us to Mob. Invite. No, nobody gave us the invite.
Would you go to something like that? I know you asked me that. Would you go?
Yeah,
to
actually, I thought. Well, if we're doing the show now, yes,
yeah. Go out there and
because you can meet some pretty interesting people.
but they're like movie stars, right? They're not like fucking. You're not gonna have John A. Light in a fucking booth and
Well,
another jerk off in another booth.
John
But
A.
like,
Light thinks he's a movie star.
oh,
You know, he walks around like he's a movie star. I hear he walks around his house like he's a movie star. You ever see that? You ever see that scene from Saturday Night Live when John Travolta runs into his room in his underwear and goes Al Pacino?
no.
You don't remember that scene?
No.
Funny as hell. Okay, well, listen, people, we're gonna say goodnight and thank you so much, and we appreciate everybody showing up tonight. We've held about 140 to 150 all night, and this time of night, that's not a bad thing, and we appreciate you being here. And we will see you. We'll probably produce something tomorrow or the next day. We just never know. We never know what's going to happen, what comes up. But we have plenty of shows planned coming up, which we're looking for. And next time you see us, the show might be called Cade Shade and
Lico and Unk, or Kane Shades Unk.
Well, so we'll be making some changes for sure because the rebrand, we have to brand a certain direction. But okay, well, thank you anyway, and
y'all have a blessed night.
And I'll talk to you in a second in the back.
All right,
there you go.